So whilst Heru overcomes Set, he then kind of brings Set in line. So he doesn't just kind of, beat him and defeat him and cast him out, but he brings him in line. So this is the reference to, control over our kind of lower self and the ego mind. And so not this notion of you have to get rid of ego, but rather you have to just bring ego into line so that it serves you well, instead of it running amok and causing you all kinds of problems, which is what the ego is notorious for. Okay, so those of you who are here, I'm just going to put the angle a little bit different on this. If you'd like to find your way to your mat and take a nice lie down, feet as always about 2 foot apart, hands out to the side, about a foot away from the body. And just give the body a few moments to acknowledge that it is horizontal and has the full support of the earth and all those muscles that work to keep us upright and fight gravity can soften and relax. So just allowing that process. And just let the breath gesture be natural at this point. Just letting the body settle. Uwa Capri. Also sometimes known as Kazrat or Karat Mummy pose. And then we're just going to do 3 purification breaths this evening. So we take a slow, deep inhalation through the nose, expanding the belly, opening the rib cage. As we reach the end of the inhalation, we take a momentary pause, we open the mouth, and we release the breath out through the mouth with some sound. Pause at the end of the exhalation, close the mouth, slow deep inhalation again, expanding the belly, expanding the rib cage. Pause at the end of the inhalation, open the mouth and release again as slow as you can with sound. Pause at the end of the exhalation. And one more, closing the mouth, inhaling through the nose, slow and deep. Pause at the end of the inhalation, open the mouth and final release. Pause, close the mouth, and then just working to a few rounds of inhaling through the nose, meeting the pause, exhaling through the nose, meeting the pause, and just flow with that for a few breaths. Really feeling into the expansion of the belly in particular, rib cage slightly opening and expanding as you inhale, and as you exhale, all of that softening down. remembering to sit with the pause just for a moment. It's not a long breath retention, but just accentuate that momentary pause points between the inhalation and the exhalation, the exhalation and the inhalation. Literally bring in some harmony to sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. A nice, well-responding nervous system that both responds in times of mobilization and also for immobilization. As we want a flexible nervous system, not one that's stuck in either way, but one that can move from mobilized to immobilized. And then letting go of the concentration of the breath. Turn the palms face down, sliding one leg up so the foot comes flat on the floor, slide the other leg up so the foot comes flat on the floor. And then just slightly lifting up, placing the hands underneath the buttocks, raising one leg up straight, raise another leg up straight, and then use the legs as a fulcrum to bring you up into a long length seated posture, and then just closing the legs into Sesh one pose, so just or easy pose in classical Indian yoga. So the legs are just basically crossed folded, and making a kinetic fist and placing that just below the sternum, and the other one on top. Feel the connection of the fist against the belly and sternum, and just coming back to the breath, inhaling through the nose. Doesn't have to be as long as when you was in Ura Capre, but always meeting the momentary pause as the breath changes from an in-breath to an out-breath and from an out-breath to an in-breath. And we're just centering again. And from here, so being as we're moving into the Heru series, also known as Horus, we take the index finger and we place it just towards the lips, the top lip and the nose. And this symbolizes normally Nefertum, sat on the lotus, which is a young Heru, sat on the lotus seat, receiving the breath of life. And release the hands, placing the hands in front of the legs, rolling over the knees, and just for a moment, just opening up the knees a little. You may be familiar with child's pose in classical Indian yoga, or extended pose or hare pose. There is a similar pose that we have in Smai Tawi, and we're just going to enter that for a moment. It's also known as scarab pose, but the difference is we'll make a little pyramid with our hands, so the two thumbs come together, the two index fingers come together, and we place that on the floor, and then we aim to place the first eye. So in kinetic yoga, it's the first eye and not the third eye. Let's turn this somebody in. So we're making a little pyramid. We want to place the first eye, which is just above the bridge of the nose, at the centre of the eye space, and we want to bring that down into the little pyramid that we've placed on the mat in front of us. So the scarab, so you're just gently resting in this pose. It is a restful pose. It's also a transformative pose, so we would normally transition through into the scarab pose as a recognition of the process of transformation taking place as we move through the different sanyuats. Sanyuats means postures in Smai Tawi. Asanas in classical Indian yoga, sanyua or sanyuat in Smai Tawi. And then just lifting the head up. And any way that works for you. Again, you can bring one foot to the floor, the other foot to the floor, take a hand away and the other way, and we're up to standing. So just continue with our gentle warm-ups. Before we do that, we're just going to bring literally the breath of life, or life itself, Ankh. And so for this pose, I think you will probably remember, we come straight into Makut, which are heels together, feet pointing out. It's a 2-part inhalation. So we inhale, palms facing up to the level of the shoulders, momentary pause, keep inhaling, fingertips come together, and then to exhale, we turn the palms down and we bring the hands slowly, equally down to the sides. That's one Ankh. And again, inhaling, 2 parts inhalation, turn the palms up, rest shoulder height, keep inhaling, fingertips point, come together, making the eternal circle of the Ankh. Turn the palms around, exhale, bring the hands equally down to the sides. One more, inhaling, palm shoulder height, keep inhaling, continue going, raising the arms up, circle above the head, exhale, palms face away and down as we bring them down by the side body. And just take a moment to relax. Dropping the chin to the chest. Slow rotations, inhaling as the head moves up and round to the back. Exhaling as it starts to transition to the other side and move down. 3 inhalations, 3 exhalations, 3 rotations in one direction, nice and slow and steady. Remember to take supreme care of yourself throughout the whole of this process. You know your body, you know your limitations, and remember it's not about striving, it's about remembering. When your chin gets back to the center after the 3rd rotation, you begin 3 rotations in the opposite direction. So it's about remembering that which we are through embodying the Netaru and their Sanyuat, their postures. By embodying their postures, we also access their character, and all of which are characteristics of pure consciousness. So after your 3rd rotation, chin's back on the chest, slowly start to make a little weaving movement from side to side. Move the head from side to side, lift the chin away from the chest, still moving side to side. Keep going, bringing the head up until it's got a little bit of a bubble on, and then it rests. Very nice. So again, we're going to go for 3 shoulder rotations. So more relaxed this week, just rotate the shoulders, curling them round to the back and to the front. 3 in one direction and then 3 in the other direction. Doesn't matter which direction you chose to go first, just change it up and you come to the next 3 and then relax the shoulders. Just for good measure, just a little shrugging of the shoulders as well. And relax. Very nice. So we're going to just go through main rotations. Before we do that though, we're going to do our side body stretch. So inhale, staying in stationary car pose. So inhale, raising the arms up like cactus arms. Now the trick to really getting a good side body stretch here is as we reach the right hand towards the left is we try to keep the torso and head up. So we don't start bending until we've taken clasp of the right hand with the left hand, and then we continue the bend over to the left, side body stretch on the right, and then we come back to car. Left hand reaches to the right hand, we take hold, and then we continue the stretch, opening up the left side body, and then coming back to centre and back to car. Right hand to left, take hold, continue the stretch, open the right side body, and then back to centre, back to car. Left to right, really reaching over, then pulling the body over, open the left side body, and then back to car. One more time, either side, right to left, gentle pull over, open the right side body, back to centre, back to car, left hand over to the right, take hold, and open up the left side body, and back to car. Turn the palms out to the side, lower the arms down, but then we're going to go through a transitionary car. So as we inhale and raise the arms up to car, transfer the weights to one leg, step the other leg out, correct the other leg, and we've got a wider stance as the arms come down to the side. Just want yourself close enough to you so you can see. So here we are, wide foot stance. And we're going to just continue with some gentle pelvic girdle rotations. So we can again place the hands onto the hips and just 6 rotations in one direction. Nice and steady. And 6 rotations in the other direction. Come back to centre, keeping the hands on the hips. We just do a gentle fold forward, come up, bend the knees, little back bend, fold forward, come up, bend the knees, little back bend, fall forward, come up, bend the knees, little back bend, fall forward, come up, bend the knees, little back bend, forward, doing the forward fold, come up, bend the knees, back bend, forward fold, come up, bend the knees, back bend, and come up to centre and relax the arms down. So we'll just do slightly loosening up, so loose rotations, so rotating to the left, looking over each shoulder, so we look over, start from the left, look over the left shoulder behind you, and the right shoulder behind you, keep the arms nice and loose. And from here, we're also going to cast the net not the Spanish castanets, but to cast a net. So the next time you turn to your left, bring both arms round, grasp the net, so all the fingertips touch the thumb tip, and then as you come round, you release at the centre, and really kind of release all the things out. You twist to the right, grasp the net again, looking behind you, come round, release, grasp left, come round, release, grasp right, come round, release, left, right. And we'll transition from casting the net to pulling the net in. So next time you turn to your right, reach across the body with the left hand, fingers open, clasp again, all fingertips and thumb tip touches, pull that in to the left waist. As you bounce round, turning to the left, reaching across the body with the right arm, and again clasp the net, pulling it into the waist, left arm, right arm. Little bend as you come in with the knees, a little bounce in the knees as you reach across, pulling the net in with all those fish from out of the Nile. And then the next one, left hook hand across, come back and release. And relax for a moment. While we're still in our wide leg stance, we can just bring one foot slightly forward. You know how this one goes. Oh, before, yeah, no, we'll do that. We're okay with the knees because we get a bit of a knee rotation in this. And rolling over the toes, one way, whichever way felt natural, and then rolling over the toes the other way, and release that foot, just bring the other foot slightly forward, roll over the toes, and then the other way. And come back to wide stance, and we're just going to also greet Geb, earth, and Nut, sky, so heaven and earth if you like. So Geb is earth, Nut is sky, and we start by opening up and reaching to sky. So inhale, raise the arms up, open the arms, tilt the head back. And exhale, hands come down, stroking Geb, swing through, swing back, come up, open. Exhale down, inhale up and open, exhale down, swing through, inhale up, open, down, swing through, up, open, down, swing through, up, open, stay open. Straighten the back, turn the palms out, exhale the arms down. Lovely. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to prep ourselves now to move into Nun, the primordial ocean, the primary starting posture for this sequence. So to just gently warm up into that, and again, please only go into a squat as far as is comfortable for you. Very much it's tightness in the Achilles tendon or the knees or the hips can stop you from sitting in the squat. So it's something you can just gently work towards. You can sometimes put a block underneath the heels of the feet if that's helpful. But it's, you know, the moving into the gesture, the posture is the most important thing. Because remember, we want to embody the qualities of each of the Neteru. Okay, so to just warm up for that, inhale, palms coming up, hands meeting Sema, prayer hands. Exhaling, hands coming down, and we start to sit down straight away. And as we release the hands, as if they're going to touch Geb, we're inhaling, And then we start exhaling as we start to roll up. As the head comes back onto the shoulders, we inhale, raising the arms up again. Exhaling, coming down, sitting down, release the hands. We start inhaling as we almost touch the floor. Exhaling as we straighten the legs, rolling back up through the spine. Head comes on straight, and we inhale. And this time we're going to keep Seima, and we're just going to slowly come down, sitting down, moving towards Nun. Squat pose. We want to lengthen through the spine, so I have a sense of literally sitting down as much as far as comfortable for you. If that's there, that's fine. If you're in a squat, that's all good. But then lengthen through the spine, have a sense of lengthening through the central channel, through the crown of the head and down through the perineum. Soften and sit. Nukpu Nun. That primordial ocean. So from here, remember, we also use our mudras to demonstrate singularity, Seima, splitting into multiplicity and duality. So inhaling, little fingers apart.
Rowan, you're muted, just to let you know.
Okay, brilliant. So coming back down to Nun. And from here we're going to shift into Shu, separating heaven and earth. So for this we have the lotus mudra. So Nukpu Shu, we inhale, arms come together, and then the lotus separates. Fingers pointing out to the side, palms pointing up. And then we inhale, come up onto the toes, separate heaven and earth. Exhale, lower back down onto the heels. Arms come back down a little. Inhale, separate heaven and earth. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. And then just hold there for a moment. Nukpu Shu. And going back down. Raise the arms up into Ka. Palms face away, and lowering them back down to the side body. Now if your feet are angled out, turn them so that they face forward, probably about almost the width of your mat. And now Nukpu Asa, Asa takes the throne. So for this, we inhale, we sit straight, long back, raise the arms up to about shoulder height, fingers point forward, and we've taken our throne. Then we exhale, we stand, lengthen through the legs, wrists go past the thighs, and flex. And we come onto the toes, lowers the heels, and we're inhaling, coming back to the throne, exhaling, coming up, toes, inhaling, seat, exhaling, toes, inhaling, seat or throne, exhaling, toes, inhaling, throne, exhaling, toes, inhaling, throne. Pause Breathe normally. Inhale, exhale, and just coming up. Flat feet. And from here, turn the palms facing forward. Move the arms slightly out from the side body, little bend in the elbows. And we're in wide-legged Salket. So we can just simply hold this posture for a moment. Come back to the breath. Back to the 4 parts breath. Inhale, meet the pause. Exhale, meet the pause. In through the nose, out through the nose. Take 6 breaths like that. When those 6 breaths are done, just allow the hands to come down by the side, which would normally in a live class indicate to me that everybody has completed their 6 breaths. And we're ready to move on. But just take your time with the breaths. And then once those hands have come down by the side, I know we're ready to go. So it's an integration. Remember, Salket also is the one, the guardian to the ancestors. So once we've done our 6 breaths, bring the hands down to the side, and then we're going to use the transition car movement to bring our heels back together and stand once again in the closed Murkut or pyramid stance. So transition through car, inhaling, bring the arms up, change the weight, exhale, arms come down, feet are now pointing out, heels are together. As we move now into a set, or a set sequence. So remember, Asar, although he took the throne, he's taken off the throne, he's chopped into lots of pieces and sent all over the place by Set. So Aset, the consort to Asar, she's love personified itself, wisdom, great nurture, also known for deep magic, and she flies about to get all of the pieces of Asar back together. So the first one is Aset takes flight. So we inhale, and as we inhale we bring in the arms up, the backs of the hands meet this time, and then as we exhale we push off, coming up onto the toes. Hands come down to the centre of the body, and then we're inhaling again, lowering back down to the heels, bending the knees. As the arms come up, we straighten the legs, really left up through the body, and then we exhale, coming up onto the toes, arms coming down, hands come to the centre, and then we lower on the inhale, knees are bent. And as the arms come right up, we really stretch all the way through the body, nice and long. Exhale, taking off, coming up onto the toes, lifting the heels off the floor, hands come to the centre, and then we're inhaling, we lower the heels to the floor, knees bent, arms coming up, backs of the hands coming together. Exhale. Flowing nicely up onto the toes. Inhale. Lengthen, lengthen. Exhale. As Aset takes flight to recover all of the pieces of Asar. Exhale. Up onto the toes. Inhale, back to the heels, lengthen, lengthen, pause, exhale, just allow the arms to slowly come down. And then we move the arms into this posture. So left arm slightly higher then the right, arms are stepped out, as you can see also on the image there, although that is a ma'at and not a set. So we should be here in Makut. So now it's time for a set's embrace, as she wraps her loving wings around all the parts of Asar to rebuild and basically recover Asar into his fullness. So for this we inhale and open the great heart of compassion, head goes back, chest lifts up, and then as we exhale, right hand comes across the top of the body to the left shoulder, we bend the knees and release, open, straighten the legs, open the chest, head back, and then coming down. This time the left hand comes over the top of the body, touching the right shoulder, bend the knees, and also we can tuck the chin at this point. Inhale, coming up, opening the heart of compassion. Exhale, closing, wrapping the wings, right hand across the top, tuck the chin. Inhale, opening the heart of compassion. Exhale, left hand across the top this time. Bend the knees. Inhale, opening the heart. Personification of love. Exhale, right hand over the top. And this time as we come up, we open and turn the palms down and they come down. We still need the spirit to fully return to Asar. And so for this, we transition through the moving car. So for that, inhale. As we inhale, we come up onto the toes, different to a set flight. As we exhale and bring the arms down, we come back to the heels. Inhale into car, up onto the toes. Exhale, down. Inhale, up onto the toes. Exhale, down. And relax just there. We're in closed stance, Makut. Open the palms, move the arms out to the side, little bend in the elbows. Salket once again, integration. Return to the breath. 4 parts breath. Inhale through the nose, meet the pause. Exhale through the nose, meet the pause. 6 breaths in your own time. You're all doing a great job. And when your 6 breaths are done, once again, allow your arms to come down to the side body. Allow that integration. So obviously we're working with the physical body, but we're also working with our energy body. So the energy channels are being opened. In Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine, they call meridians. Nadis in classical yoga. And they're part of the tree of life system in Kemetic yoga. So hands are down by the side. And we're still in Makut. And we're now about to enter into Heru, Horus, the hawk-headed Neteru. And we will only learn this one particular movement. It's a little bit difficult. It's not too difficult, but it's just the movements now with our feet, because all we've really been doing so far is opening to wide stance and closing back. Now we're including a movement forward. Although I have introduced it at the end of class a couple of times where we move forward and then we come down into kneeling. We don't go into kneeling in this posture, we open up into a similar sort of move as triangle in classical yoga. So there's a little bit more to this. So we begin by making our Kemetic fist Heru Makut. Just pause for a moment. Fists are closed and clenched. Heels together. Feet are open. So as we inhale, we're going to shift the weight to the right foot, and it's important to start and continue with the direction of the feet that I offer. So we inhale, we shift the weight to the right leg, we lift the left leg, and as we start to exhale, we step in forward, the heel comes to the floor, then the toes, which brings us more upright. Okay? That's the end of the exhalation. Okay? Now the back right foot might want to turn out a little bit more, which is fine. Let the back heel spin in a little, and the right foot turn out a little bit more. But keep the hips facing forward. Now as we inhale, we're just going to twist to the right, but as we twist, we open our arms up to shoulder height, palms also open and facing forward. So we inhale like this. The head goes with the body. So if I'm just going to show you side on, left foot's forward, right foot's back, and we come to this posture here. Okay? So we're here, head's facing forward, same direction of the torso. That was an inhalation. With an exhalation now, you look across the back arm. So the arm that is technically on the right side of the body. And then you inhale, you bring the head back to the center. And then you exhale, you look across the front or leading arm. So it's the left arm, left side body. You inhale your head back to center. You exhale and you rotate back round, keeping the arms out straight. You inhale and lengthen through the body. You exhale and you fold from the hips forward. And from that point as well, as you exhale, you start to allow your arms to come down. You can place one hand, the left hand, on the left shin. Okay? When you get used to this movement, you can bring the hands all the way down, fingertips to the floor. But for now, I suggest you put the hand on the left shin, or just under the left knee. And you shift the hip back. So we're here, shift the hip back like that. And as you shift the hip back, you slide the right hand up the left, opening up the side body, raising the right arm all the way up, and see if you can look up at the right hand. And then you exhale, keeping the arm long, you just bring it all the way back down, back to the left hand. You inhale, you open the arms up to that start position there. You exhale, you come back up to standing posture. Now my back right heel, which will be the same as yours, inhale, lift the right heel off the floor. Now as you exhale, you're going to sit the right heel back to the floor, but you're going to step back with the left leg. So you exhale, back to Makut, bring the arms down. Beautiful. So you should be back at your start posture. Yeah? Kinetic fists. Inhale, this time shifting the weight to the left leg, lifting the right. Exhaling, stepping forward, heels, toes, bring you up to straight. Lovely. Now we're going to twist this time to the left, and as we do, we raise the arms up. Inhaling. Exhaling, looking across the back arm, which is your left arm. Inhale, head back to center. Exhale, look across the front arm, which is the right arm. Inhale, head back to center. Exhale, rotate round. Back to this position here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. Bringing the hands down this time. The right hand comes to the right shin. Shift the hip back. Inhale, sliding the left hand up the right arm, opening the front body to the left side, lifting the left arm all the way up, looking up at the left hand. Exhale, just float the hand and arm all the way back down to come back to the right hand. Inhale, open the arms up, back to there. Exhale, coming back up straight. Inhale, back leg, heel off the floor. Exhale, heel goes down, you step back. Beautiful. And just take a moment just to give yourselves a little bit of relaxation there. Release the hands. So Heru, this is Heru's journey, or the start of his journey. He is stepping into himself. There is doubt there, he's searching, he's looking. So this is like, if you like, the movements of a hawk searching and purveying the lands of which his father's been deposed from. Trying to find himself in many ways, okay? So it's a strong sequence of movements. Of course, we're opening the chest, we're lengthening the hamstring, we've got a rotation in there, rotation of the spine all the way up through to the head. It's quite a powerful process, but hopefully not too difficult. We move with the breath, we move slowly through each of these postures. And then that way we can gauge where we can be, and obviously with progression we'll be able to move slightly more differently and place our hands in slightly different places. So you've done a really good job. I'm going to invite you to, in whichever way you find comfortable, come down to your mat and get horizontal once again. Feet about 2 foot apart. Arms about 1 foot from the side body, palms facing up. And then we can bring them in, making the little makut with the 2 thumbs resting on the centre of the, kind of like whereabouts the diaphragm is, keeping the upper arms, shoulders on the mat. So just find how that can work for you. Come to the breath, in through the nose, out through the nose, meeting the pauses at the end of the inhalation and at the exhalation. Feel how you are. Notice the movement, the flow of what we might describe as energy. You may tune in enough to notice your circulatory rhythm, the blood pressure, the blood moving through the veins, but also feel for like tinglings, just a sense of energy flowing through the body. Notice if the body feels more open, a semblance of more looseness, openness throughout the whole of the body, but also a more sense of vitality, energized. So when we complete the full set and we come to this resting posture, the body can feel really charged. So I just want you to kind of just notice how that is now. Just get a feel for it. If there are any parts of the body that maybe you're not noticing, or if you were to report they feel kind of numb, or you're just not noticing that part, then you're noticing that part is feeling numb, which is good. Maybe it's a part of the body that has got used to particular patterns of movement, and these new movements are, kind of weird and strange for that part of the body. But again, with practice, we're opening new pathways, not only of movement, but new pathways of how to relate to ourselves. Remember, we are remembering our true nature. Smai, Tawi, unifications of the two lands through the science of breath. The science of breath to bring us into unity, the science of breath of singularity or oneness. So we are remembering the truth of what we are through the embodiment. And of course, you're on a learning curve, so you're learning to move through the Sanyue or Sanyuat, the postures. Again, once you've kind of really have learnt the moves, and you can just hear me say Nukpu Shu, Nukpu Heru, or whatever it might be, and your body has learnt how to move into that embodied posture, and that's when you can really start to embody the qualities and the characteristics of that Netaru. You'll have heard the stories time and time again, and you will understand that as you fold and move this way, that you're opening pathways to remember the truth of what you are. And whether it's Kemetic yoga, classical Indian yoga, that which we truly are is always the same. Just a different cultural avenue. Compare it to the journey up a mountain. There can be many paths to journey to the summit of a mountain, and each path has its own unique perspective. But once you're at the summit, it's the same summit regardless of which path you took. And from the summit, all paths look the same. So just as we come to the last minute, I invite you to find your way up into a seated posture, either through the hinge movement or any other way that you find helpful. And again, bringing the left fist, right fist, come to the breath. And also, if we normally in fuller classes, like my 90-minute classes, we have much more time for Hekau, words of power. We have more time for also more breath work, Seken. But however long we have, we always thank all the supporting spirits, energies, entities and beings that have brought us here this evening. In particular, we give thanks to the ancestors, those for whom without we would not even be here. May all those supporting energies, may the ancestors, and indeed may all beings in all places and times find benefit from our practice, in our remembering of that which we all truly are. May all beings be well. May all beings be blessed. Ong Ujab Seneb. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So we were only a few this week. Hopefully we'll be more next week. Sorry about the little losing power going off. Don't know what happened there. Hopefully that won't happen again. But yeah, I really want to thank you all for showing up, and I really do hope that you continue to come and participate for the full 10 weeks. And then there could be always other options for either continued classes live or on Zoom. We'll just have to see what unfolds.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, iPhone. Whoever iPhone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
Do stay blessed.
Take care, everyone.
Hi, I'm Dee. I've been coming to the classes. Rowan, can I just ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
You said something during the class, and I asked this question in the chat about the tree of life, and I was
Okay.
just curious if it's
The Kemetic tree of
the
life.
same.
Go on.
Yeah,
So let me just have a little look.
I'm just wondering if it's related, if it has a common root in the Kabbalah.
Yes, so the philosophers and the yogis would argue that the Kemetic tree of life came first, and the Kabbalah is a
Okay.
reach of the Kemetic tree of life. So the Iliad, the 9 Netaru are placed within that, and each of them revealing one's transformation from pure conscious presence all the way down to Heru, which is at the bottom. And of course you have Ra, you have Shu, Tefnut. So each of these move through until we get down to Heru. But then there's a lot of different practices and mysticism and schools within each of those Netaru's traditions. So you would have, such as those who, the Assyrian mysteries around Asar. So the priests of Asar were called, and you're going to love this, were called Jed. We do Jed Pillar, but the priests were actually called Jedi. So we know where, was it Stephen Lucas? Is it Steve Lucas? Whatever his name is. Star Wars. He got the term Jedi from